When did you realize how finite your time was going to be this season in terms of directing possibly the premiere, but now just these
Well,
little
you know,
things?
I knew I wanted to help with second unit. I knew that because it's always fun. You know, Miles, Dale, and I do a little bit of cleanup unit and a second unit because that's what is great is in the middle of your week you have a day or two of shoot. Mostly, sadly, on this train is night. So, you know, all of a sudden from, you know, 6 in the afternoon to 6 in the morning, you're, you're in a set somewhere really cold, shooting inserts of hands or action moments and stuff like that. But I knew I couldn't do the whole episode because I need to deliver Crimson Peak in May. So I'm still on post on that. And I knew that it would be too much. I'm prepping Pacific Rim. So it was very, very difficult for me to do a full episode this season.
It seems as if the second season is deviating more and more from yours and Chuck's books.
Yes.
Talk a bit about sort of the changes they've made, why they were necessary, and how you feel about watching this go off as sort of its own thing.
Well, from the beginning, even in season 1, Carlton was going off book, and you know, it's very clear to me that the strain needed to be run by the showrunner. So Carlton has always been responsible for the screenplay and development of the story. You know, I try to be unobtrusive and not keep quoting the book. I do when it gets really, really to a point where I say this doesn't work for this reason, but you cannot say it's because of the book. You know, Carlton is very respectful of the areas that are you know, controlled by me, and I'm very respectful of that. So I think that this season we knew that if we stayed on book, we would be having less discoveries. Like there's stuff with Fed that wasn't in the book that has been really, really good. The finale of the first season was not in the books, and it's really one of my favorite episodes, the final episode. So you know, it's about saying, well, these things have a life of their own. I mean, there are characters in the books that live and die, and characters that could be dead 6 episodes ago are now alive, and characters that were minor are now gaining a footing. So it's very different medium. So you know, I watch it with curiosity, but you know, it's Carlton's and Chuck's running this season much more than the books.
Are there parts that feel like they're still canon, though, from the second and third books, where you
Well,
really want
we
them to get
agreed
to them?
from the beginning that we would try to hit the big notes, you know. But I think that you know, if you do a change that you think is good that it ripples through, then you ripple it through, you know. Look, as long as they are working the episodes, you know, and Carlton is happy with the development of that, you know, I think it's an organic process, you know. You still shoot episode after episode, so you know you learn that you're going to generate blue pages or golden pages for 11 in the middle of shooting 8 or 9, and you go, well, that's a good idea, and then it ripples. So it's a very different medium. I'm kind of still getting used to it, to be completely honest. I'm still, what? And I read a great scene 3 weeks ago, and then 3 weeks later it's gone. And I go, what happened? Well, this happened. Oh, okay. You know, I'm on dailies. I'm still looking at assemblies, and when we need to strengthen a moment, or we need a little more strong action, I go and shoot a little bit of that. But I gotta leave that parcel to Carlton.
Now, Miles was telling us that the White Room, Icarus White Room, came out of a dream of yours.
Yeah.
Now, how do you decide which of your dreams you want to give to the strain? Which of them become movies for yourself? How do you distribute your
Well,
dreams?
it was really, I dream very little that is interesting. And most of it is really, really boring. But I just thought the idea of Icarus being a connoisseur, you know, he's so elegant and he's refined, and I thought, well, you know, I remember an old porn story where people said that porn actors eat only pineapple for reasons of interaction, and I thought this guy would probably feed his victims only certain vitamins and juices so that the flavor of the blood is a little better, you know. So, I don't dream normal. Very strange, you know.